This wasn't the way we wanted to end our season, but we didn't go down without a fight.
Don't spoil it, because we'll get into it right after this. Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to our 6th episode of Finish the Battle. We're so excited to have you here again.
Also guys, if you guys want to be part of the lineup and you don't want to miss any of the action, hit that subscribe button below, turn on the notification bell so you guys never miss an episode.
And guess what guys, right now we're at 50 subscribers. Once we hit 250, we're going to have a special giveaway, but you got to tell all your friends so they can subscribe so that we can hit that mark.
Yep.
Hey guys, as always on this show, you know we cover travel ball, high school ball, college ball, recruiting as a whole.
We're also going to cover my recruiting journey. We're going to bring special guests on to cover their recruiting journey, and also we're going to be filming at places out and about, kind of like walk-ons or sports bars or things like that, so you guys can see us in other locations.
Okay, Maddie, so we teased it in the opener. Let's start with that tough loss against Bridgeland on Friday night.
Oh, man, that was sad. Sad day.
It was sad.
Sad day for the
It was
Grizzlies.
tough. I tell you what, though, the atmosphere was second to none.
It was so sick. It was crazy.
Not an empty seat in the house.
No.
For those of you that were there, you know what I'm talking about. Both stands came ready to cheer on their team, and the atmosphere did not disappoint. Maddie, tell it how it was from a player's perspective.
It was really crazy. Not gonna lie, I was very nervous. I don't know why for this specific game. I was just very nervous because it's Bridgeland. Bridgeland beat Oak Ridge. We have to beat them. I was very nervous, and I went to that game, and then once the parents started to cheer and just make all of us feel so comfortable, I was like, and I took a breath, and I was fine after that. I don't know. It made me calm down. It made me hype and excited. It was crazy because at some points, at the different heights of the game, they would be up and then we'd be up and then they'd be up and then we'd be up. So it was their parents would be quiet and ours would get super loud, and then their parents would get super loud. But then our parents never were down. They were always loud.
We got down one time, and we'll talk about that later. But But let's talk about the top of the first. Courtney had a walk to start the game. It happens, Which
the umpire, a little questionable.
He was
sometimes.
Not calling the outside pitch.
Little
he did not
questionable.
like it at all. But he was not calling it for both sides, so therefore I can't really say anything.
Yeah,
he just doesn't like the outside pitch.
Yeah.
But then on the second batter of the game, there was an error by our second baseman that gave us runners at first and second with no outs. Somehow, with no outs, you guys got out of it.
We just got out of that.
With only one run on a sac fly.
Yeah, because I had to call time, and I was like, guys, relax, it's fine. We have to hit. Because we were home team, which was a good thing.
Yeah,
but
it was.
we had to hit. I was like, guys, just relax. It's completely fine. We can get out of this. And we did, so I'm proud of that. And then without allowing a run in the top of the second, Ali Hagabish hit a 2-run bomb, making it 2-1 after 2, and it was crazy. Yeah. And there's this video that Ali put on her story, and we were jumping up and down. You see all of us come out of the dugout, and we're jumping on the side for her. It was a big moment. Yeah,
that was a huge bomb. It was needed because we were like, okay, we're down 2-0. And then she hit that bomb. It came at a perfect time.
Yeah, it was just crazy.
Yeah.
And then in the third, Avery Wagner hit into an error, scoring a run, and Tyler Scott hit a single, scoring 2, making it 4-2 after 3.
And I'll be honest, in a one-game series, you have to play clean softball.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys, unfortunately, on the infield, didn't play clean softball. Several errors and a drop throw at first base on a bunt. Having 3 or 4 errors on the infield, even at one position,
it's hard.
It's hard to overcome. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, a lot of players have bad games. And it happens. It's softball. Softball sets you up to fail, and it's hard. It's one of those hard things because I don't know. It was hard. That's all I can say. It's just hard.
It's. You feel the enormity of the moment as a fan. I know that as players, they had to have felt the enormity of the moment. It gets bigger as each round goes on, and you have to play clean softball. There's no other way around it, and you can't. There's no blaming one person. You win and lose as a team. And the thing is that but errors do hurt, and they do cost, and in this game they cost us, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah. And then in the fourth, Lindsey Polschultz hit a 2-run bomb, making the score 6-2 after 4.
At this point, the atmosphere died.
Yeah.
On our side, you could hear a pin drop, and it was almost like
no one knew what to do.
It
was just
we were like, oh,
looking
no.
around,
and my daughter, Olivia, she was sitting right below me in the stands, and she turned around and looked at me and said, "Dad, we need to change the atmosphere. We need to start yelling." And so I agreed. And then from there on, every batter we had, we started cheering.
Crazy, yeah.
We changed, and then everybody started standing up. From every pitch there until the end of the ball game, we didn't let up, and it made a huge difference in the ball game, in my opinion.
Yeah, because before they started cheering real loud, it was so silent. I turned to Carissa, one of my teammates, and I was like, "Dude, their parents are so hyped, and we're just not." I was like, this game is so flat. Like we're going nowhere. Like our parents need to step it up. And I was like, Carissa, I was like, you need to look at your mom and go like lift him up. Come on. She was like, okay. So she did it, and then they were screaming. And I honestly believe that energy really helped Kate hit the bomb in the 5th to make it 6-3 after 5. We were still down 3, but that completely just changed the momentum of the game for sure.
It absolutely changed the momentum. And honestly, so each time, in the 6th inning, I'll be honest, our cheering rattled their pitcher, Mackenzie Jenkins. Every time she pitched, she got to ball 3, we were ball 4.
Oh, yeah, and we were doing it with them, so all of our hands were like this.
And she'd get to ball 5, and we'd keep going. And it seemed like every couple of pitches, she would back off the mound and just sit there and wait till we were done.
And then start.
And we wouldn't stop. And her coach, you only have 20 seconds to pitch or you get a ball call. Her coach was looking at her doing this and saying, "Go," because we weren't going to stop. And honestly, at that point, they had to pull her because she walked 3 straight batters
in a row. Yeah,
and so in that inning, Carissa Villarreal, she comes up. Kate Dunbar, Avery Pemberton, all came up huge, and they all did their job. They hit the fence. They were hitting gaps, and at this point, at the end of the inning, it was tied 6-6.
Yeah, as we all say, big time players make big time plays, that was a huge.
Yeah. So, and then obviously coming up, there was a couple times where Brody Quinlan, she's committed to Sam Houston.
She's so good. She's cold.
For
She's
Bridgeland,
so good.
Plays first base. There were 2 double plays she was a part of in the game, and I want to touch on one of them that was absolutely disgusting that should make SportsCenter. It was a hard line drive shot by Courtney Bellinger, and she had enough heads up play to turn around and dive
because
JC Mead was on first base. She was diving back into the bag. All she could do was dive and tag JC, and she did, and she got the double play.
And we were all like,
yeah, that was, and honestly, because I think if she doesn't get that, we probably score a run. So that was huge. And big time players make big time plays in big time games, period. So now we go to the top of the 7th. Score is tied 6-6.
Everyone's on the edge of their seat.
Yeah, the atmosphere is thick. I mean, everybody is just like, I'm
playing and I'm like,
yeah.
Like I don't even know what to do.
Trinity Allen comes up in the top of the 7th, hits a 2-run bomb over the flagpole. Let me repeat
270.
that. Over the flagpole. It probably was between 250 and 270 shot. It was a moonshot. At that point, you kind of felt the air come out of our side of the ballpark. What were you thinking when it went over?
I don't even know how she reached the ball. Okay, because it was an outside curveball. Courtney hit her spot. It was almost in the river, and she just got her bat there, and it just soared. And I take my helmet off, and I'm like, just watching this ball go over the fence. And I call time, and I go up to Courtney, and I'm like, "You good?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I'm like, okay. Well, I'm like, base, no outs. We're good. No one's on base. Going 1. Just act like nothing happened. I don't know. I was just in awe of this right now.
Yeah.
It was just crazy. And then in the bottom half of the 7th, I still felt like we could win. With the top of the lineup coming up, I 100% thought this was our game. I mean, we were home team. The whole game we were talking about with our team, we were saying we're home team for a reason, which we were home team for a reason. And that's all we were saying the whole game.
And I tell you what, one thing on the baseball field, the Grand Oaks baseball team was playing their playoff series against Tomball Memorial. So they were done with their game, and in the top, around the midway point through the 7th inning, like in between the inning.
Yeah, because they came whenever
they came over to watch.
They came whenever we were still on the field.
And that time. I'll tell you what, every one of them stood on the fence and cheered for the girls.
They were awesome. Screaming, jumping. It was so nice because like their energy, like they brought so much energy. Like our parents were still screaming, but they just brought like a new fresh eyes, new energy.
We needed it because we were all losing our voice at this point.
Yeah, and us girls, like because their dugout was kind of like moved forward so we could see them, and they were making eye contact with us. So every cheer they were doing, we were doing, and every cheer we were doing, they were doing. So it was just like a connection.
And like, even the parents, like my cousin came to the game, and her daughter plays for Tomball Memorial, and she said, Tomball Memorial didn't have a really good season, but she said it was awesome to watch them come over and support because they could have just gone home. They just had hit a walk off to win the game. They could have just gone home and celebrated.
Yeah,
but they came over and supported them, and I thought that was amazing.
That was awesome.
It was amazing. So now, obviously we didn't come out on the right end of that game.
Oh yeah, we didn't win.
What did Coach B say to you after the game?
Well, first thing she said was, let's give a round of applause for our seniors. Because in the bottom of the 7th, all of the seniors, including, I'm not a senior, I'm a junior, but we all had tears in our eyes. We wanted to win that game so bad. And we all have our hands on the top of our head. We have tears in our eyes. And as soon as that third out was made, she goes, everyone give a round of applause to our seniors. And we were clapping them up, and we were all bawling. They were crying. We were hugging them. It was sweet, but it was bittersweet, I guess you could say.
I'm one of those people, if you're going to lose, you lose that way.
Yeah.
Do not, getting blown out sucks.
Oh, I know.
So if you're going to lose going down and losing by 2 runs, even on a home run, it's fine. There's nothing you can do about it, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, you want to lose a close game where, it means something and everybody was invested in it. You can tell the way the girls walked away from that meeting with Coach Brimberry. They were invested in that game. They wanted to win it just, we wanted really to win
that game so bad.
And so bad. Now, now that you've kind of had a few days to recover from that, what are your takeaways from the season, you personally and as a team?
Well, I guess I'll start with as a team first. As a team, I say one of the things that I take away is know that you can win. No, like at the beginning of the season, we did not think we could win. Last year's record,
which is ridiculous because they have a ton of talent on this
Last year's record, let me just say, was awful. But coming off of that and the season we had this year,
it was a shortened COVID season, so you can't really compare it.
Yeah, but still, it was still boo-boo and whatever. But coming off of that and going to this amazing, awesome season,
I agree.
I would have never imagined we would have had this amazing season with all of these girls, and I just knowing we could win. That was my biggest takeaway, is us trusting each other and knowing we could win, knowing we could make plays, and the big plays. We made so many big plays this year that I will have in my brain forever. I don't know. I'm just so happy.
Yeah,
about that.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to touch on, especially parents and players who maybe are coming up and playing younger ball or playing at other high schools or whatever, and playing JV or whatever and trying to get to the varsity level, I want to talk about one thing. As good of a hitter as you are, and guys, you can look on this channel for her hitting from the fall. You had probably 12 at bats all season. Okay. A home run, a double, and then you hit a bunch of grounders, things like that. But you didn't really bat. No. But you focused on what Coach B wanted you to do, and that was behind the plate, the starting catcher. What is your advice to other players who are saying, I feel I should be starting, I feel I should be doing this? What is your advice to them?
I guess my advice is everyone has a role.
Yes,
not even just in high school, but select and in life, everyone has a role. You're on that team. You're part of that thing for a reason. And my role this season was catching. My role was to be on my A game, catching every time. My role,
not one pass ball all season, I might add.
Well, my role was just to be a leader, to cheer, to yell, to be in the dugout, to scream for my team. And my role that game or whatever was not to hit. That was okay with me. Yes, I would have loved to be given a chance to hit, but if I didn't, I was okay with that because my role was being fulfilled. But I say just know your role and know where you are.
Absolutely.
And fulfill that to the best of your ability. That's what I would say.
And it doesn't mean you're any less of a hitter.
No, not at all.
Any less of a person. You know, she's got girls on her select team who don't even play varsity in their juniors, guys.
Yeah.
You have to understand, and her select team's full of really, really, really good players.
Have very good players.
And so understand that it may not be this year, but you keep working, you keep pushing, you keep plugging.
Even when you don't see results, please like keep going, because it's so easy to just, say, oh, like, no, like, I'm going to stop because, I'm not getting to where I need to be, or I'm not starting, or I'm not this. Keep going, because your coach is going to see your hard work and is going to see the hard work that you put in. Because at the beginning of the season, I told Coach B, I was like, listen, I had a player meeting with her and I was like, listen, I will be the starting catcher for your varsity team. I will be. I told her that. And she was like, I'm glad that that's your goal. And at the end, I had a player meeting with her today, and I was like, I'm so proud of myself for fulfilling that goal.
What did she say to you?
She just said that, she was proud of me. And I just was proud of myself because, I set that goal and I met it. Setting goals for yourself and working for them is the best feeling in the whole wide world when you achieve them. And
I can tell you next season, you're going to hit, you're a senior, and she's going to need your bat.
Yeah.
But guys, buy into your role.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just get mad and pout and say, I quit when the going gets like that. Buy into your role, what's asked of you. And I know it's not easy, guys, but do it, because there's always a blessing on the other end of that.
Oh, absolutely.
So now let's get into the rest of the high school playoff picks. So let's talk about our side of the bracket that's still left, okay?
And remember, that bracket will always be right here for you guys to see.
So we've got Brian playing the Woodlands. Right now, the series is tied at 1, guys.
Yeah, I'm going with Brian because Brian I just think Brian's going to win. Also, I don't know. Brian's going to win.
I want Brian to win.
So bad.
The Woodlands has some great players, don't get me wrong. I just would like to see Brian win. In fact, one of your teammates, Faith Eppers, plays for Brian.
Yeah, so I'm going with them.
Go, Faith.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, no matter what, I mean, the Woodlands has some stats.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And then Rockwall plays Bridgeland, and Rockwall beat Bridgeland last night. Game one. Mm-hmm. So I'm going with Rockwall again because they have a really good pitcher.
I'm going to say Bridgeland comes back and wins this series.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so too. I think so. So now let's go to the rest of your teammates with Illusions. So Lacey Foster and her Waller teammates play Barbers Hill. Barbers Hill is ranked number 2 in the nation.
Yeah, and they won the first game against them. And I think Barbers Hill will win. Okay.
I think Barbers Hill is going to win. I think they've got a lot of talent. I don't think it matters after that, though, because they play Lake Creek.
Doesn't matter. Sorry, Barbers Hill. See ya.
But I tell you what, Lake Creek got scared in a 1-game playoff last night.
Against Crosby. They almost lost, which it blows my mind.
2-1.
Blows my mind because they don't lose. Lake Creek does not lose.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So they didn't pitch Emily Kennedy for 6 innings. And they had a 2-0 lead going into the 7th. Mm-hmm. First girl comes up to bat, hits a double. Second girl comes up to bat, hits a double, knocks in the first girl. So it's a 2-1 game with no outs. Tying run on second base. Guess who they bring in? Emily Kennedy.
Who pitches like 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, and she struck out the side to win the game.
Yeah, all 3 outs just done.
I just think Lake Creek is a team of destiny. I really do.
They're going to win state.
They're 38-0. It's going to be, I mean, if a team is going to beat them, it's going to be in a 1-game playoff.
Yeah.
And basically, I think any team from here on out, if they win the toss, is going up until state, we'll play them in a 1-game playoff, because I think that's your best shot.
That is your best shot. You can't beat Lake Creek twice.
No, you can't.
It's just not going to happen.
Let's go over to the Simmons twins in Ridgepoint. I know that they lost last night to Deer Park.
I still think Ridgepoint can come back and win. I think so.
I do too, and I'm going to take the Simmons twins. I think Ridgepoint's going to win. I think they're going to pull it out.
Yeah, and then
Deer Park's tough, though. I will say that.
Oh, they are tough. And then Peyton, they play Clear Springs. She's goes to Katy. I think I'm going to go with Clear Springs, because Clear Springs beat them in the first game.
They beat them in the first game last night. I'm still going to go with Katy.
Yeah.
I think Katy is going to turn it around. Katy's tough. But yeah, I'm going to go with Katy for sure. All right, guys. So now we're going to get into some college softball.
Oh, love college softball.
Favorite time of year, guys. I want to thank D1 Softball. If you don't follow them on Instagram, follow them.
It'll be in that description box down below.
Absolutely. So all the graphics they provide are going to be right here. We're going to start with the bracket. So I'm going to show the bracket first. And then as we talk through each regional, the regional graphics will come up as well. So
first we've got off the Norman Regional, which is Oklahoma, Morgan State, Texas A&M, and Wichita State. Sorry, A&M, love ya, but Oklahoma is going to win.
Yeah, guys, it pains me to say, as you can see all my Aggie fan stuff behind me. I love A&M. Oklahoma's too tough.
They're so good.
Shout out to Bailey Lee for A&M, catcher, phenomenal freshman.
So good.
She got all SEC as a freshman. She's a stud. Now let's go to the Los Angeles Regional. We've got UCLA, Long Beach State, Fresno State, and Minnesota. And guys, you'll see in most of these regionals, it's gonna, in my opinion, there's going to be teams that are head and shoulders above everybody else, except for maybe one or two, and we'll go into that. But in this one, I'm picking UCLA.
Oh, me too. They're just so good. And then the next one, we've got Tuscaloosa Regional, which is Alabama, and then Alabama State, Troy, and then Clemson. Clemson, we actually watched the Clemson versus Duke game, and that was a great game.
It was a great game. Duke won. Clemson had their chance. But I'm going to be honest, in this one, I'm going Alabama. I mean,
I'm going Clemson.
Ooh,
yeah. Let's see who wins that.
I would love to see Clemson win, but I think Alabama's one of the top 4 teams in the country, and I think they're going to pull it out. It's going to be hard to beat them twice in a series.
Oh yeah.
Now in the Gainesville Regional, we've got Florida, South Alabama, and Baylor.
I'm going Florida.
Yeah, I'm going to go Florida too. I mean, usually Baylor's pretty good.
Usually Baylor is very good. Yeah.
But
Florida's just always good.
Yeah.
Florida's always solid, always studly. No.
SEC
Florida.
this year is pretty stacked, and so I'm going to go Florida.
All right, guys, so in that Stillwater Regional, we've got Oklahoma State, Campbell, Boston University, and Mississippi State. With this one, I'm going with OSU.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Oklahoma State, too. Like I said, they're not one of the top 4 in the country, but I think they're going to make the College World Series for sure.
They're very good.
Then in the Fayetteville Regional, we've got Arkansas, Manhattan, South Dakota State, and Stanford. Arkansas. Yeah,
Arkansas, for sure. And then in the Baton Rouge Regional, we've got LSU, McNeese, George Washington, and Louisiana. I'm going with McNeese. For sure. I know players. I know like Kennedy Reynolds is on McNeese, so I'm going with them.
She's nuts. I'm going with LSU.
The LSU will probably win, but I'm just going to go with McNeese.
Yeah, okay, I mean, that's fine. I mean, that would shock the world if McNeese
won. If
McNeese won this regional,
if they beat LSU, that'll blow my mind. But
I mean, I would even understand picking Louisiana Raging Cajuns over LSU, but I'm not. I'm going LSU for sure.
Yeah.
And then in the Columbia Regional, we've got Missouri, UIC, University of Northern Iowa, and Iowa State. Missouri and Iowa State's kind of a tough one here. This is one of those where you could see an upset. Still taking Missouri, though, I think. I think they've just got
I'm going to go with Iowa State.
Are you really? Okay.
And then in Knoxville Regional, we've got Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky, James Madison, and Liberty. I'm going to go with Tennessee.
I would love to see Liberty win. I just the Flames are on fire this season.
Yeah.
I just think it's Tennessee. The SEC is stacked this year.
Crazy stacked. And then in Tallahassee, the regional for Tallahassee, we've got Florida State.
Kennesaw State. Thank
you. I probably wasn't going to pronounce that correctly. UCF, and then we've got Auburn. I'm going with Auburn.
This one's a tough one. Yeah. This is one of those
where has a lot of great teams.
Yeah, it does, because UCF's not bad either. And so I was looking at this, and I'll still stick with Florida State.
I'm going Auburn.
I think they've been tough all year. She's going Auburn. That's a good pick. I mean, I might end up eating my words on that one. Then we go to the Tucson Regional. You've got Arizona, and I tell you what, they're fired up, and I'll explain that in a second.
Yes, they are.
UMBC, Villanova, and Ole Miss. And Mike Candrea, the coach for Arizona, he was really upset about the Pac-12 getting overlooked.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the SEC. He says there's an SEC bias. Mm-hmm. And that may be a little true, but I mean, this is your time to prove it.
Mm-hmm. If you think so, show them.
I think they're going to come out with something to prove. I think they're going to win this regional. I do. I think Arizona's going to
I'm going with Ole Miss.
Wow, she's picking another SEC team.
I know. I'm going with Ole Miss because my catching coach, Lindsay Castle, she went to Ole Miss, so I'm going with her. So,
all right.
Yeah. And then in the Austin Regional, we've got Texas, St. Francis, Texas State, and Oregon. I'm going with Texas.
This one's one of those tough ones because
also maybe Oregon. I don't know.
There is a storyline here that I know that some of the press is talking about, but I want to touch on. Mike White, the head coach at Texas, was the coach last season in Oregon, or the season before at Oregon. And this was another reason Mike Candrea got fired up. He said, "Are you kidding me?" And even the head coach for Texas said, "You're going to send the old team I played for to come play me?" I mean, and my thing is, you got to play the game. I mean, I know that you think that they're setting you up, doing it on purpose, but this is the big time. You got to play it.
Sorry.
Oregon comes in with nothing to lose. I'm going to take Oregon to shock.
I'm going to go against you and say Texas.
Okay, I'm going to take Oregon to shock. I just that was the one where I thought, that's one of the ones. Anyway, go ahead. So
then we've got the Athens Regional. We've got Duke, UNC, Greensboro. We've got Western Kentucky, and then Georgia. I'm going Duke.
I would say the same thing. I'm going to pick Georgia, and here's why. Duke hasn't been to the big show in a long time.
Yeah, they haven't
won. They haven't won their conference ever, and they won the conference tournament
against that game we watched against Clemson versus.
I think Georgia's gonna beat them, and I think Duke's not quite there yet. I know that one of Hannah's teammates, one of your one of your good friends, she's going to Duke next year. I think next year they're going to be even better. I think they're going to get shocked though in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, Georgia. I don't know. I'm ready for them to show everyone out. I'm for sure ready. And then we've got the Lexington Regional with Kentucky, Northwestern, Miami, and Notre Dame.
So Miami of Ohio. Welcome to the big dance. Have fun. I think. Notre Dame's going to show up a little bit, but I still think Kentucky's going to win this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kentucky too. They're definitely going to win this one.
Okay. Next, we've got the Tempe Regional. You got Arizona State, Southern Illinois, BYU, and Virginia Tech. I think this is a pretty easy Arizona State pick here.
Arizona State for sure. That's what I was thinking.
No offense to...
If you choose the other three.
No offense to VT or BYU. I think it's Arizona State's to lose.
For sure.
Then we got the Seattle Regional. You've got Washington, Portland State, Seattle, and Michigan. You got three teams
that are stud.
Yeah, from that area. Michigan could shock. I'm still going Washington.
I'm going to go Michigan. I think Michigan is going to do. I think they're going to do some things.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, real quick. So, if you guys make picks, comment down below your picks. We want to see what you guys think. Don't hesitate. If you want to prove us wrong, you want to put out some information that you think we need to know, comment down below, guys. Also comment if you guys want to see other things on the show, like other topics and stuff, comment those too. We'd love to hear and talk about it. Absolutely. But comment your picks down below right now. Guys, and before we go tonight, we want to touch on Grand Oaks baseball. They're coming in hot, dude. The second game in a row, they win in a walk-off. They beat Tomball Memorial in Game 3 in a walk-off. They win last night in a walk-off. Let's talk about it. And let me just say, I was at this game, and it was probably the craziest baseball and softball game I've ever been to. In fact, I'm going to put the walk-off right here. Isn't that crazy? Antonio blows my mind. His hit is on Vipe Houston on Instagram. If you guys don't follow them. They're great. They post all of like the sports highlights and stuff. His hit was everywhere, all over my Instagram page, on everyone's story. The GOAT. It was crazy. And honestly, it would have been tied, except the center fielder, as you saw, made an error. And he feels bad. But see, I was talking to Antonio, and he said that the center fielder is number like a high number in the country, like number 10 or something for 2023s. And they said he's cold. I was like, oh. But sometimes people make errors. It happens. But it happens. I just want to know what was going through his mind. Bases loaded and 2 outs. It looked like, to me, the center fielder was trying to scoop and throw to home.
Well, yeah, but he was, because that last run would have been 5-5, so he was trying to scoop and throw home for like the third out, I guess, for like the next inning to come, and he missed it.
Or at least to keep the game-winning run scoring, yeah. So, no, it was a great ball game, and I would have loved to have been there.
It was so crazy. And then also, too, just to touch on Larry Drake, he's a sophomore. He hit a leadoff home run to start the game. That was awesome. And then Shane Martin also in that same inning hit a home run over right center, and Larry's was over left. Yeah. So that was cool.
So, Grand Oaks baseball, keep rolling.
Keep rolling. You guys better win tonight against the Woodlands. Rooting for you guys.
Beat the Woodlands, guys.
Please.
All right, guys, we've come to the end of this week's show.
Also, so next week we're gonna recap the baseball, Grand Oaks baseball. If they win tonight, or if they play tomorrow, even we'll recap all of that good stuff for you.
Guys, comment down below your picks for the NCAA regionals. Make sure you comment. So
be involved.
The other thing is next week we're gonna look ahead to the Illusion Showcase the following weekend. We're gonna even vlog from that. So
I'm gonna try to vlog in the dugout a little bit, maybe like some cheers and stuff like that. I don't know. I'll ask Coach Mark to talk to him about it.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a lot of content on this channel. We appreciate you tuning in.
Hit that like button below.
Hit the like button
and
be involved, and that's the ball game.
Bye.
Bye.